Today is the last day for Governor Andy Beshear to veto bills this legislative session. One vetoed bill from last night got some extra attention from Secretary of State Michael Adams.
WKYT's Jessica Umbro sat down with the Secretary of State, who explains why he put out a post saying the governor murdered House Bill 684.
That is our top story at 5.
We really worked hard to be bipartisan, and the governor's really undermined us on that.
Secretary Michael Adams says House Bill 684 in part expands who can vote in person before official early voting begins and allows local boards of election to give schools advance notice if they're needed as a voting center.
This is not controversial stuff. It's all just common sense stuff. That's why the Democrats voted for this too.
So when the governor vetoed the bill, Secretary Adams took to X to express his disapproval of the move, saying the governor, quote, murdered bipartisan election reform. In a statement to WKYT, Governor Beshear said calling a constitutional veto by a governor murder is immature and insensitive to those who have lost family and friends to murder.
House Bill 684 is 66 pages in length, and in his veto message, Governor Andy Beshear specifically highlighted one line that was removed from the bill, which he says would make voting more difficult for Kentuckians.
On page 27 of the bill, there's a line that's crossed out that currently allows Kentucky voters to use a credit or debit card with the name of a voter on it in place of another form of identification.
He picked off one little part of the bill, one sentence in the bill, and used that as an excuse to veto the whole thing.
In his veto message, Governor Beshear says removing that option makes it harder to vote. But Secretary Adams says only a small group of voters in the November 2024 election used credit or debit cards to vote.
And there are other various ways to prove their identity. So we're talking about fewer than 500 people out of 2 million people. And for all I know, those people all had other ways to prove who they were.
Secretary Adams says he expects all legislation vetoed by Governor Beshear, including House Bill 684, to be overridden in the final 2 days of the 2025 session. In Frankfort, Jessica Umbro, WKYT.